Gwendolyn, Lifestyle Sew. Sorry if that video's bouncing a bit. And final video on doing the S2965 supplement 299 pattern 65, which is the blousey bit. And these are the parts. Obviously not that. You've got the back, the front, 2 fronts, 1 back, 2 arms, 2 pieces of facing. That's on the fold, so that's 1. And then we want another one for the back. So 2. I'm not really sure this is going to suit me. I really am not as I'm doing it. I'm thinking, but I just might get away with it within the fabric that I've chosen. It's extremely lightweight. Really is lightweight. Oh gosh, I need to reinforce. I need to reinforce this, which I will be doing with cotton facing and of the V, and that's also going to be interfaced with cotton facing interfacing. I've got my elastic band that I'll put around my waist. Once I've made the garment, I will then put the elastic band around my waist to get the actual right height. It's all right just measuring it now and I'll think, oh, that's going to be it, but it's not good enough. I want exactly the right height, and I like to do it with an elastic band. So I'll put the garment on, put this over, and then I'll get exactly where I want it to be. Just put your cotton interfacing on. Oh, did I show you that properly? There you go. Just ironed it on. It's iron on. Now it's not done round the sides because I'm going to be sewing and overlocking that. So I don't want bulk in the sides to make it tough. Bias, the neckline is a bias. It can stretch. Now you can rather stitch that on a 2. I would say, you know, 1/4 of an inch in. Something like that. All the way around if you want to. But I'm going to be sewing this straight away, so my bias is not going to stretch. So right sides together, right sides together. So it should be like this. One section will be like that, and one section will be like that. And I'm only going to sew. He's come. Yeah, I'm only going to sew the neckline. So pin it at each end. You can pin it in, or you can put as many pins in as you like. But we're just going to sew literally the neckline. And that is with your seam allowances. Now you've done that, just round the neck bit. And now you are going to clip right up to the stitches, but not through the stitches, right up to the stitches. If you clip through the stitch, just go back on your sewing machine and just go over that tiny little bit again. But you want to clip quite, you know, this is all things. So I like to clip like that, you know. You can clip about 1/2 inch apart or less than that. I do normally a bit less than that for when we turn it over. So I've done that. So all I'm going to do is turn it over. So you get just one end. And hold that together and flip the other side over, hold that together, give it a little wiggle so you get down, put it down and try and, you know, you want to roll it that the back is going to roll in, and now you are going to iron it. So if you like, if you can just see that little bit of over, so that's going to be the back showing out to me. But this little line here is going to be rolled in. I mean, you can do it is not as much as that. You can really get it as just a fraction like that. And that's what you want to do. So we've created a back neckline that's going to be perfectly flat. And it's going to look beautiful. If you have your hair up, if you've got short hair like me. And this is where it's those little tiny things that you try and get nice, that people won't know the difference between this being homemade and it being real. And then they're always shocked if you want to say that you've made it, or if somebody makes a comment, oh yeah, I made it. Of course, sometimes we have disasters, but we don't tell them that. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next stage. So the next bit, so I've ironed that now, so that's all just ready. And we need to gather both of the tops. It's not the shoulder, that's the side, the front. So right across here we need to gather, and to gather you need to have 2 rows of gathering stitches, which is like a number 4, 1/4 of an inch in and one a little bit under that one. Not quite 1/4 of an inch, but a little bit under, and all the way through. So you've got 2 rows. So the whole idea is you can pull them and then gather them even. If you just do it with 1 row, you won't get the right effect, because 1 row will make it like lumpy. And you want it to be, you know, you want to try and get those gathers that you fit in this shoulder nice. And when you do the gathering, you leave a long tail to start with and a long tail to finish. Or you could actually a long tail to start with and finish with a knot, because then it's not going to come undone. So there's two rows of stitches. Do you see just 2 rows of stitches? And there's your long threads. Where am I? This side. Let me pull this round. 2 long threads, and you're just going to pull those together and it will gather. See? And I've knotted it at the other end, so it's not going to come out. Well, the machine has. And so that's what we're looking for. The 2 fronts gathered. You want the back gathered. And what's the other? The sleeves gathered in the same way I just told you to do it. If you find that when you do your 2 stitch, I'm just trying to think of little things. If you find when you get your 2 long threads to gather this, and only one pulls and the other doesn't, it's just stuck. So get a pin or a pointy something and just unpick the first 2 stitches or something like that. It's just got itself caught up, and then pull them. They both must pull. Remember, they both must pull. So it just means one's caught up. So you just have to uncatch it. So it doesn't matter if it starts a 1/2 inch in or whatever it is. The idea is it gathers. Overlocked just about everything I can. I haven't overlocked the arms. I'm going to sew those in and then overlock them. I haven't overlocked the fizzy bit, the gathering bit, because we haven't gathered them yet anyway, to get the fit. That again will be done later on. I did overlock the end of the cuff, so that's on that side. I basically overlocked just about I overlocked the bottom, everything I could overlock with everything basically that we need to do. On here I overlocked the side, the facing. This side's going to get sewn together and it will be covered by the over that, and I might edge stitch that, I'm not sure. That's why I didn't overlock it. So all the facings have been done. Now this should fit you. This should fit you. He's a good boy. Give mummy, because he's a good boy. Because you've done all your adjustments on this before you got to cut your material out. So every adjustment is done and you've tested it on your mock material. Now, if you need anything done, because you might need something tweaking now, because now you're using your real material and there may be some discrepancies on how, might just need a little tweak here or a tweak there. And that's all you should be doing. If you have to do more than just a tweak, you've done it wrong. It shouldn't be anything like that. This should fit me. That's why you should be confident enough to go around and overlock everything. Because when we actually put it together, it's just a matter of just getting that, putting your elastic in on the right, getting that right. That's why I leave that to the end with this and do it right at the end. or more or less right at the end. I don't turn it up yet, but you know, you don't have to overlock. You can do French seams if you're using fine fabric. If you've got any type of fabric that's going to fray, and the chances are you have, if you're doing woven, then you will have to do some sort of finishing on that edge. So on an ordinary sewing machine, maybe some zigzag or whatever you want to do, or French seam, fold it inside out and back to front and do it like that to enclose all those edges so it doesn't fray. I'm sewing fine fabric at all, and lots of people do. And I don't know whether it's because when I really started to learn to sew, I was doing ballroom dresses and Latin American dresses, and it was all slippy. You know, it was all slippy stuff. But if you do have a problem, you just need to put tissue paper under it. Or what I did for years, if I did have some odd thing, is just a glossy magazine. Just stick it in. It needs to be something you can tear away, and that'll stop it slipping and sliding if you need that. So if you get some tricky bits and you're really struggling to keep it straight, just get an old glossy magazine, something that's come through the door, maybe that's glossified, something that's not going to transfer the colour. And just put that down. You sew it all together, that underneath, this on top, sew it all together. It'll stop it slipping, and you just tear it off the back. And I used that for years, anything that was on towards, especially with ballroom. But I've not really had much of a problem, because you get used to handling slippy material after a while. He's just sitting here now, next to me. Look, I don't know if I can show you. Oh, can you see him? Oh, no. He's such a darling, isn't he? I do have a little dog, and she's such a darling too. The facings go right sides together, and you're just going to sew all the way down. The facing on first, and then I'm going to sew the two fronts together at the bottom. Look a bit like bell sleeves at the moment. They're quite wide. Yeah. Got all the fabric on it. They need a bit of elastic in just to cuff them. And then obviously elastic goes in around the waist, and I'll just check it first. If you're actually quite thick set round here, which I am, you're not going to have much of a waist measurement. So there's not going to be much waist, but you know where it is, because when you put your skirt on, it'll nip in at the right place. So you still need to have that measurement. When I put this top on and put this over to get that measurement correct, that on me does not work, due to the fact that I'm very short-waisted and big-chested. So my hips and my waist are similar, really. And so when I put it on, all it looks like is I've got just a little, top that the young girls wear that just come up to your midriff, just under your bust, and you go, which I used to have years and years ago, and a skirt, and there's a big gap. It just the elastic seems to just ride up. No matter how tight you pull that elastic, it's going to ride up, because the waist is just too short. Most people's waists from the waist to the bust, to say is going to be like that. For me, it's more like that, because I'm long-legged. I've got very long-legged and a very short body, and dressmaking is all about making it for you. So that is not going to work at all. Even if I'd done the dress would have still had the same scenario. That elastic would have kept on rising up. Now, I do like fitted dresses, and that's why I fit here. And normally when you have a fitted dress and you do your waistline, it's not going to ride up, because it's actually fitted and it's sewn at that area to go down. So you don't have that problem. So I've been humming and hawing and having a look at what I could do. I could turn it into a balloon blouse, which all you do then is put this, do exactly the same, put a casing on the bottom all the way around, and just have, it blue in it, very loose. I don't really like it. I like blouses that are a bit loose, but I don't want them, I'm not comfortable with that. And bearing in mind, this blouse has not got a dart that shows. It's it has got a dart in that pattern, but it's not, it's an invisible dart, because this really is like a t-shirt top front. So there's, and I've done a bust adjustment on it in a t-shirt way, which is absolutely fine. The fit on it is lovely. It really is fine. It's just the design feature from that elastic that I have to change. But now you've got, if you like, that the bottom, the bloom bit is quite wide. It's actually wider than the top because they were bringing it in under here for it to flare out at the bottom. So you've got a lot of material at the bottom. So it may be that I actually recut this slimmer. Like the design, it's nice. I like the neckline. I do like the arms, even though they're a bit more wider than I would have. That's the design and the elastic. I think I like that. So I'm just thinking I'm just going to play about, find out what I want to do with it. But for anybody, obviously, who's normal, got normal sizes, so I wouldn't recommend it if you've got a short waist. I really wouldn't recommend it if you've got a short waist. But anybody else, I do like this style. My daughters have had this style where it's, you know, like elastic here and coming down. It looks great. Is a cord with this, not cord, there is a strip that you turn over to make the bow at the front if you are putting the elastic in. So put the elastic in, center yourself, and then make that strip into a strip. So sew the strip up that's on the pattern, turn it inside out and turn it into a little bow and stick that on the front. So it looks like the actual bow is materials running all the way through, but it's not really, it's elastic. So I sewed up to here. This is the seam. Sewed about 1/2 inch away from the seam, and maybe just under 1/2 inch away from each side of the seam. So it left a little hole here to thread. I used just a safety pin to get it all the way around. Then when it came to the very end, all I did was, these are 2 ends, I crossed them over like that, and then I sewed on top, backwards and forwards on top. And that's it. That's not going to take a lot of strain anyway. So it's turned out you get this nice little... I'm turning this into a bloom blouse. I've decided just to put the elastic around the bottom. I've got my hat on, I'm about to go out, so let me explain what I've done. So I've done the arms, which are fabulous. They actually do, you know, they are a little bit puffy there. They're just exactly the right length. I haven't actually done anything to this length. And the material is the right material because it's very flimsy to do this pattern. Really flimsy, and I think that's the trick. Although this is polyester and it does stick to it, stick to you rather, I have changed the patterns just at the bottom because, as I said, the elastic doesn't work. So I turned it into a balloon blouse. Otherwise I would have had too much balloon, if you like. The back, I think you'll agree, is pretty good. That's nice. And I don't mind it's a little bit over, it's not oversized, but it's the way that it's more looser than I would normally wear it, due to the fact that summer's coming. It's a beautiful day out there. I'm off to the chemist. And so I thought, oh, okay, I quite like this. I'll wear it. And I think that's a good idea. You can stick it in your jeans, this top like this, or you can put a belt around it. It's up to you. So the whole idea as a sewist, if you make something and it's not working for you, I love this pattern, I love the design, but it's not working for me. Elastic where it should be up here, I just put it on the end, basically, and just turned it into a bloom blouse. And this feels really comfortable now. Very comfortable, very nice. All I need is my sunglasses and my bag, and off I am. So if you enjoyed it, you like what we've done today, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, ring your bell for your notifications for when we're back, and Facebook. It's Lifestyle Sew, all one word, and join us there. Take care.